You
Started?
know,
Okay.
Are you able to hear us?
yes. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can. Awesome.
Okay.
Is everyone able to hear us online?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
There's a bank.
Hey, I guess
That we've had discussions about.
it's 5:30 and we can get started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the December 4th, 2024 meeting of the Manitou Springs Historic Preservation Commission. Our last meeting of the year. Yeah, nice. So the purpose of the Historic Preservation Commission is to protect and enhance districts of historic significance and instill and foster civic pride in the legacy and achievements of the past, and to improve the economic vitality of the historic areas of the community through encouraging compatible rehabilitation of our historic structures. So we'll get started by taking roll, and the commissioners could please introduce themselves. We'll start with Joy.
Hi, this is Joy Porter, Commissioner. Did you hear me?
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
okay. I didn't know if I was muted. Sorry.
There we go. Hi, I'm Matt Rose, Commissioner.
Matt Murphy, Commissioner.
Ann Nichols, Commissioner.
Doug Edmondson, Commissioner.
Laura Kinseth, Vice Chair. Thank you. Okay. First item on the agenda tonight is approval of the minutes from November 6th. Do any commissioners have any comments? Or corrections? No?
No,
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting of November 6, 2024.
Okay,
I'll second that.
thank you. So Joy made the motion to approve the minutes, seconded by Matt Rose. Okay, next item is public comment on non-agenda items.
I believe we need a vote for approval unless I missed the count. We had a motion, but we didn't have a vote
Oh, we
on,
didn't
yeah.
have a vote.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. All in favor of approval of the minutes from November 6th?
Aye.
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 Okay, now is there public comment on non-agenda items? No?
There's no one online that's not here for an application.
Okay. So next is there a notice of council action?
Yes, staff does have a notice of council action. We presented Hiawatha Gardens in a work session yesterday, and staff was directed to move forward with option 2. This is just one step in the process. At that hearing or the work session, we also communicated that this would any improvements here on the dance hall or changes to the dance hall will come to this body as an MCAC. So it's just moving forward to the point in the design documents where we could bring something forward to y'all.
Thank you. So now we can move on to, is there any unfinished business? No, we're good. Okay, we can start on new business. First of all, do any of the commissioners have any ex parte communication or conflict of interest for either of these two projects?
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay. First item, which is item number 2 tonight. MCAC 2424 305 Pine Ridge Avenue. Exterior alterations. So we'll start the order of proceedings for all the applications tonight is we'll start with a staff presentation, followed by questions from commissioners for staff. The applicant then can make a statement, followed by questions from commissioners. And then we'll open up the public hearing. More discussion by the commissioners, and then voting on the application. So we'll start out with staff presentation.
For the record, Zachary Davison, planner. Okay, for MCAC 2424, we have Hillary Mannion, the applicant, and also the homeowner. She is requesting to replace the existing vinyl sidings with hardy plank lap siding. She's also looking to relocate the entryway, which is currently on a porch, and she's looking to move it to the main dwelling facade. She's going to have 3 windows on the front of the porch, which will be enclosed after the door is relocated. The property is zoned general residential, and it is in the Minnehaha Pilot Knob Historic Subdistrict. There is an overview of its location. And it's site plan submitted that shows what the project will become. We have the 3 windows on the front of the porch and the door relocated to the main facade. Here are the existing conditions, various views. You can see in the middle there, the front, there is the door on the front porch. And I have another picture here that'll be a little more clear in a moment. Here on the right, the door on the porch, and on the left is where the proposed door location will be. That window will then be moved to the front to be a part of the three. And they'll be reusing those three windows for the front. This is just additional details. They don't necessarily require approval, but the colors that the homeowners plan to use. And likewise, the door that they plan to use as well. And should the Historic Preservation Committee find it appropriate to grant MCAC 2424, the staff does not recommend any conditions. The motion language can approve the material change of appearance certificate without conditions. You can approve the MCAC with conditions, deny the MCAC, or postpone until February 2025.
Okay. Any questions for staff and commissioners?
I have one, Laura. Can I go ahead?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The question I have is, I couldn't tell, is the garage attached to the house, the one on the right?
The garage is not attached, no ma'am.
It is not attached, okay. And is there another home using the cement fiber siding? I didn't see one, and I know they had mentioned, they may have been speaking generally, but is there another home or with that kind of siding nearby? I didn't see them.
Not that I'm aware. We could ask the homeowner. She might be
Okay.
versed in the neighborhood.
And on the door that's going to be replaced, is that going to be used throughout in the building, or is it going to be a new door?
It's going to be a new door, and I'll go back to the slide here. It's going to be a new door, and it's going to be placed where I have a kind of like a red box there on the left image.
Okay,
And that window will then be relocated to the front porch. They'll enclose where that door is currently will be enclosed, and then there will be three windows along the front as drawn here on the submitted site plan.
okay, thank you.
Any more questions for staff? From commissioners? Okay, and now if the applicant can come forward, please. Introduce yourself, your name and address. Oh, there's a mic just.
Center lower. Center.
Okay, I'm learning how to use microphones. My name's Hillary Mannion, and I will be residing at 305 Pine Ridge Avenue with my family.
Thank you. Is there anything you wanted to add to the presentation?
I can address the questions posed by Joy. The hardy board siding. We've done considerable research. We obviously wanted to replace the vinyl siding because that was one of the disappointments that we had when purchasing the home, that the original had been covered with vinyl. The reason we chose hardy board is because the addition of the house that was made in the 1960s has no siding underneath it, and we don't know what the present condition of the original siding is on the original parts of the house. It's just been so banged up. So in order to provide continuity in the design and also choosing an affordable choice, but also a very sustainable choice to reside the home. We did choose hardy board siding. It's really difficult to determine what is hardy board and what is original siding. We have it in our own home on 1147 in areas, and I didn't even know that it was hardy board until my husband pointed out that it had been placed about 5 years ago. So that's why we chose it. I can't speak on whether there are other homes that use it, but it's very comparable to wood siding in appearance.
Right, thanks. Does anyone else have a question for the applicant?
I have a question. In looking at your drawing of your plan for the front to replace the windows there, you've noted that you're going to use the existing windows. Optically, visually in the pictures, they don't look to be 4x4.
So yes, there's actually 2 windows where the door is right now. You can't see, there's the window that you could see. And
Yeah.
then there's a window next to it that looks like it's just a single
Yeah.
window, but that's actually another 4x4 window.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then we plan to we did purchase, we've been scouring Facebook Marketplace and Restore for other aluminum windows just to avoid, so we have matching windows. There are 2 more 4x4 windows on the side of the house.
Okay.
So we plan to repurpose one of those windows and replace it with a similar 4x4 aluminum window, so that the ones in the front really are matching. They're all alike, but the one on the side will still look pretty similar too.
That's great. I just was wondering how that was all going to fit, but I think it's really a good idea to use what's there and find something similar.
Thank you.
And it probably be a nice change inside the house.
Thank you.
I have another question. On the door, is there something wrong with the door that you can't use it, or do you just want a different kind of door to go into the new spot?
Yes, there is a problem with the front door. The storm door we just don't like it. And it's not historic at all. So we are getting rid of that. The 2 doors behind it are actually something that I would call interior French doors. They're panel doors. They're only 29 inches wide. One is badly damaged and cracked. So we are actually going to retain them and use them in the inside of the house as we can. But that is why we chose to not reuse them, because they're just not meant to be exterior doors and they're damaged. And I would like to point out that the door that we are reusing was salvaged from the Mining Exchange Hotel downtown. They have an ad on Facebook. We actually salvaged a few doors from them, and there's still more to be bought if anyone's interested. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any more questions for the applicant?
So they're selling those?
Yeah. They're
Really?
selling them for $100.
Yeah, I
And
walked on that. There's like the whole basement was full of them.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah, and there's one more like the one that we got with the original hardware, so we're pretty excited about it. There's one more like it, but they replaced the window with a mirror, so someone must have used it for, like an interior
Sure.
architectural element.
Sure.
It's
And
pretty
also
cool.
just a word of support. I've used hardy board in many of my projects as a comparable replacement for old lap siding, particularly 4 to 6 or 4 to 7 inch. And as we've discussed before, as we go down the road here in the future, when it comes to fire code and things like that, I think we'll be seeing more of this, because hardy board is not only durable and looks wood-like, but it will be fire resistant. So very good.
And on that, Doug, to the applicant, is the size of the siding the same as what's on it now, or is it going to be changed? Is it all 6 inches, I think I read, or 4?
Actually a reveal of 4 inches, and it does happen to match the vinyl. And I did go around the neighborhood with a ruler, the neighbors out measuring the different ratios of siding to trim. And interestingly, much of the neighborhood is 4-inch or just a bit below it. And the best ratio is either 4-4 or 4 to slightly larger trim.
Okay. It looked that way, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for letting me nerd out, everyone.
Great, thank you. And that seems like a really nice upgrade to that house and
Thank
very
you.
much more compatible with the neighborhood.
Thank you so much.
Good work. And now we can open up the public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who can comment on this project? Okay,
There's no one online.
then there's no one online. Okay, good. Do the commissioners have any more comments? Okay, do we have a motion?
I think we have to close the public meeting and then we have a
Oh,
chance to talk and then someone brings a motion.
okay, okay, so because there are no comments from the public, we will close the public hearing. And I guess no more commissioners' comments. And now we can make a motion.
Well, I think, Laura, I think we have a chance at this point in time to talk, and if none of us want to talk, then we go to the motion. This is where we discuss everything, and then one of
Okay.
us would make a
Got it.
motion.
Okay. Was
Thank
there more?
Reporter, you're doing my job for me.
I don't want to. Yours is too hard.
Okay,
I want to know where you buy this.
yeah,
It
this
was
was nice.
my exchange, yeah, it was Wyndham Grand. When Perry Sanders restored the building and turned it back into a
I
hotel.
can't hear you, Matt. Are you close to your mic?
I was asking about the doors, and so I was telling him the story was when Perry Sanders bought the Mine and Exchange building and turned it into the Wyndham Grand. They had gone through the building and removed all the original doors, and the basement was full of them. And I know about him because I did a lot of work on the antlers and a lot of the trim work in the building, and the whole basement was full of these doors.
Wow.
And they sell them at that time, but apparently they're for sale now. So you might want to ask the applicant the link to that, because I'm going to. Is it on some Facebook Marketplace? All right, that one sounds good to me.
I'm going to be checking it out. Thank you.
There you go.
I could add, not about the doors, just about the way you're fixing up the facade. I think it's gonna really clean it up, and unify the front. So it seems like a really good proposal.
Okay. Any more comments from commissioners? All right. Now we can have a motion.
I move to accept the application as proposed
Second?
with no conditions.
Okay.
And I second the motion.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Edmondson, seconded by Matt Murphy. All in favor?
I,
Right.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Okay,
Clarification on the second item, Vice Chair Kinseth, I'll just have you open the public hearing after you announce, this item, MCAC 2425. And then you can close the public hearing if there's no public comment. And then all the commissioners can discuss whether they want to approve or whether they have any comments amongst themselves. And then you'll make a motion. just for a little bit of clarification on opening and closing the hearing.
I don't think I got all of that, but
So I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, she's suggesting we are opening the public hearing as we begin staff presentation of the item, and then are closing the public hearing when we've finished public comment. Because then it's the private commissioner discussion with no more public comment on that hearing item or staff comment. So just to kind of clarify the beginning and the end of the public hearing as opposed to public comment, she's differentiating those two.
Yep, thank you.
okay. So public comment should come after staff presentation then?
No, it can and stay in the same order where we do staff, applicant, and then public comment, but all three of those things are considered the public hearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to item number 3, MCAC 2425, 915 and 917 Osage Avenue. Staff?
Yes, ma'am. We have PJ Snow joining us digitally as the applicant on behalf of the homeowners. The request is the replacement of multi-deck structures to include the framing, which will be treated lumber or pressure treated lumber and surface planking in redwood. They'll also be modifying some of the stairs, mainly the second to the third level stairway, which will include a mid-flight landing at the bottom and altered stair termination angles. There will also be other changes to, I believe, the first level, mostly due to safety issues and current rules and regulations. And they will also be replacing the deck handrails, which will be rebuilt in kind. The property is zoned general residential and is located in the Midland Historic Subdistrict and is considered a contributing structure. Here is an overview of the property in relation to those around it. And here is the site plan, which outlines some of the changes. We'll have the top third level deck will be repaired or replaced, the second level deck repaired or replaced, and the main level deck repaired and replaced. And on the landing of the second deck, we can see the change to the termination, the mid-level landing. The decks to the left of this image will not be changed or replaced. They will stay as they are. Here is the east and the west facing facade of that property and the existing conditions of the property. And here are some pictures of the existing conditions of the stairway going from the first main level to the second. And for the second level, we can see how the stairwell terminates presently and also the location where it will change. And some more pictures of the current condition of the deck. Should the Historic Preservation Commission find it appropriate to grant MCAC 2425, staff does not recommend any conditions. Motion language, you can approve the MCAC without condition, approve the MCAC with conditions, deny the MCAC, or postpone the MCAC until February 5th, 2025.
Thank you. Questions from commissioners for staff?
I, I have a question. On the rebuilding of because they look worn, of course, but of the rails, are they going to be in wood, just very similar to what's there already?
Yes, they're gonna be.
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, PJ.
I wasn't sure if I should answer or not, but yes, they're going to be built out of wood, matching the existing railings as they are now.
Thank you.
Any more questions from commissioners?
I just had a very brief one. I know we talk about making everything safer. The stairs don't look very safe, and using contemporary safety standards. Is that just for code to make sure that they're safe, or is there some kind of material or style that goes into it? Is it simply rebuilding them and making them safe?
I think the question's probably better set for PJ, the applicant, who is
Okay.
The contractor on the build itself.
Okay,
Yeah, so the stairs from the second story to the third story are out of code. The rise and the run of the stairs itself are out of code, and then the space between the bottom step and that railing is out of code. And so to get those back into code, the architect designer came up with putting a landing kind of midway down and redirecting the stairs. Does that answer your question?
yes, it does.
Yeah, basically they're out of code.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Commissioners, more questions for staff? Okay, the applicant, if you could introduce yourself, please. Your
Hi,
na-
everybody. My name is PJ Snow, and I'm a general contractor, and the homeowner who lives in Japan has contracted with me to do the work on her home.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners? Question for the applicant?
PJ, will some of the decks be replaced and some repaired, or is it going to be like a combination when you find things lacking to repair or replace?
Yeah, the second story deck will be replaced. The third story deck and stairs will be replaced. The stairs going down to the main level porch area will be replaced. And then the main level porch area, we're just going to replace the deck boards with like materials and and looks. The second story or the main level to the second level stairs are also out of code. So we need to change the size of the opening where the stairs go through the roof, which is really minimal. I don't remember the dimensions, but I think we have to make the opening like 6 inches or a foot wider, and then a little bit longer, which won't be seen from the street at all. And then so the decks and the stairs are really in bad shape and mostly rotten at this point.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions for the applicant?
Yeah. Hi, PJ. I'm Matt. I have a question for you. All the spindles in the rails, I'm just looking at one of the photos that has a mix of just like some square spindles and then some pickets. I'm presuming based on your drawings that you're gonna make them all look the same. What's your plan on the shape of the spindles?
Yeah, the spindles will be square.
Which is, it looks like that's what's the majority of the rail now.
Yeah, I think someone replaced some of them with a different style.
And will you, I think that in the write-up, it said you're gonna use treated lumber. How are you gonna stain? Is it gonna be painted or stained, or how are you gonna finish it all?
Yeah, it'll be painted. The handrail will be painted, and the decking will be stained. It's mostly the decking, is like all the stain or whatever they had on it originally is gone. So we're gonna use a brown color that will, you know, presumably be like it was originally.
Yeah, it looks like right now it's matching the color of the home.
Yeah, I don't have that picture in front of me, but the main level deck is painted. Yeah, so the stairs are painted to match the house. So we can repaint those that color. And then the decking on the second and third story will match like the outside. Oh, okay, so those stairs are painted as well. Oh yeah, and the decking is painted as well. Yeah, so we can mimic that. Um, yeah, our that's not we're not going to change the color of that.
Okay, thank you. Are there any more questions from commissioners? All right. So now we can open up public comment. Is that correct? Are there any comments about this project from the audience or online?
No additional attendees have joined online.
Okay, thank you. So now we will close public comment. Okay. Any further discussion about this project from commissioners? Nope.
I would, the only suggestion I was make is there's been a bit of a discussion here about painting the treads in the deck. And in my experience, if the handrails, railings, edges, stringers are all painted and then the treads are stained, it adds to safety and longevity of the tread and deck. Paints have a tendency to lock in moisture and can rot woods faster. So if the actual deck itself and the treads, and then you can paint the toe kick, you can paint the stringers, all that. So, and it also kind of gives it a lot of pop and appeal. So I would say, since that's not a condition, that it would be something I would suggest, you know, for not only for safety, but for the longevity of it, because as you can see in these photographs, these stairs are northern facing and they hold a lot of moisture and snow in the wintertime. And so it's a challenge to keep, you know, to preserve the life of something that's exposed to so much moisture over such a long period of time, because people are putting down ice melt and shoveling and so on and so forth.
So for clarity, you're saying that we should stain the deck and the stair treads and then paint everything else?
Yeah, paint the kicks and paint the stringers and handrail and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that way, you know, that way you're not locking that moisture in.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I just didn't want to, I know that like the outside appearance is important, so we wanted to not make big changes in color.
Well, first year, you're going to be first shoveling, first couple shovelings in a snowstorm, you're going to be taking a paint with it. So.
Right.
I think a lot of what we talk about and what we're concerned about is sort of a unified look on the front. And I'm just looking at the picture that shows most of the house. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to keep the treads stained, they'll last longer. It looks like the front stairs, the steps of the house are also painted. But I guess the reason I was asking about the railings is that you've got existing railings that aren't in the plan here, so it seems like a good idea to try to, as you go up, match what's down below, or if you're gonna change it, make it consistent from the street up to the top.
Can you bring up that picture so I can see it?
It's the slide 1 in the package that we got. Basically shows the whole front side of the house.
Yeah, I think the majority of those are square spindles.
Yeah, you've got the square spindles, and then, the spindles and the posts are painted a color, and then the handrails painted a color. I think just keeping that look all the way up would be the right thing to do.
Gotcha. Yep.
That way it just has some harmony with what your new is and what your
Okay.
old is.
Yep, that makes sense. Yep. Yep, I agree with that for sure.
Okay, thank you. Any more commissioner comments? Okay. Do we have a motion for approval of MCAC 2425?
I would make a motion that we approve MCAC 2425, 915 and 917 Osage Avenue without conditions.
Okay, second.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion for approval of 2425 from Commissioner Porter and second from Commissioner Murphy. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So the motion passes to approve MCAC 2425.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Okay. We can move on to other business. Do we have any other business to discuss?
Yeah, we can make staff updates at this time as well.
I have a couple staff updates if we're ready for that. Just wanted to let let the commission know that staff is planning on issuing an administrative demolition permit for a very, very dangerous situation located at I believe it's I don't know if it's 2-4 Canyon Avenue or if it's just 4 Canyon Avenue. But it's for a deck or for a two-story deck on the back of one of the storefronts that's going over Fountain Creek. The thing is very dangerous. We received an engineered letter from a certified engineer indicating that it's dangerous to life and property. It's prone to flooding. It's not safe. It could potentially fall into the creek and create damage to structures and buildings downstream. They will, of course, need to apply for an MCAC for any remodel or anything that they do to replace it. They have not provided plans or anything to replace it. The building itself is not part of the demolition permit. Wanted to assure you on that, that it's just that addition and it was just the deck that was added on to the backside that goes directly over the creek. So, and I'm happy to answer any questions or talk to anybody about that.
Yeah, is that Twin Bears?
Yes,
That's Twin
yes.
Bears? Yeah,
Twin
that's an ugly deck.
So, the other thing, just a little bit of an update on Plan Manitou, the 2.0 master plan. We, staff received a rough draft from our consultants the other week, and staff is reviewing it. Right now, the main changes that are being proposed for the comprehensive plan update are identifying what we call the strategic priorities and basically our to-do list. And so staff, and it's not just planning staff, but it's a lot of city staff, a lot of department heads are reviewing that to-do list, those strategic priorities, and making comments back before it's released to the public. It's planned to be, we hope to release it to the public before the holidays, before Christmas and New Year's holiday, and have everybody the chance to take a look at it before we go through a second round of public comment in January. Anybody and everybody is invited to participate, including anybody here on Historic Preservation Commission. If you are interested, I can probably jerry rig probably a presentation at your, it would probably have to be your January meeting. No, February meeting. It have to be your February meeting if HPC is interested. By that time, it should be fairly well, not refined, but not necessarily. It should be pretty completed and ready to be reviewed. So
Thank you.
that's all.
Well, if there's no further discussion from anyone, we can adjourn the meeting at 6:13.
Can we,
Nice job, Laura.
presentation?
Can you what?
Can we plan on having that in February?
Oh,
Yeah, I'll plan on that. I'll
That'd be
plan
great.
on adding that to the agenda for February.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna stop the recording now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so.
Happy holidays.